Once was a land of woe and strife, where the people were bereft of hope. They prayed to their gods of might and light to deliver the heroes of old. Instead they got heroes. Did you hear the quotes in my voice of moral ambiguity? They may help or may not help you at all. Depends on what's in it for them. They kick and they punch and they maul and they smash. They lie and they scheme and they burn and they slash. Succeed or fail, it adds to the tale. Dungeons and Debacle starts now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. I am your host and dungeon master, Kevin. Going around the table, Blake.
Hi, I'm Blake, and I'll be playing Juliet, the Dragonborn eldritch knight / wizard.
And Shane.
It's me, playing Alexander, the human bard.
And Hannah.
I'm Hannah, and I'll be playing Talia, the human rogue.
And Anna.
Oh, hi. I'm Anna, and I'll be playing the Paladin of Lolth. Drow.
And what's your name?
Anna. Hi.
Oh,
Sorry.
Character.
Oh, Vic'ala Alean'mtor.
And John.
Tell you this.
I'm playing Alunodas, Elven monk, cook, and fine-ass dancer.
So last time on Dungeons and Debacles podcast, you guys found yourselves outside the Feygate licking your wounds and taking a rest after a long battle with the High Elves to gain access to the Feygate. While you were taking stock of the scene, you saw a Drow come out of the woods who told you that she was a Paladin of Lolth and she was sent there by Vic'ala, who was the demon who you had met inside the Mount Sunder after Bonebreaker's tomb. You gathered your things, entered the Feygate, and were promptly attacked by a water nymph and a water elemental. The water nymph charmed half the party and had you attack the other half. Some of you were able to shake it off. The others who did were no longer charmed after you killed her. You were able to dispatch her pet water elemental, and that is where you find yourselves now, inside this pond inside the Feygate. So now that you've had a chance to take a breather and take stock of the scene around you, you can see that it is almost dusk here. There is this a little bit of orange but mostly purple light that appears over the horizon as if the sun had just set or had risen. There's enough light here for you to see your surroundings. You're currently near this pond that is, now that you've had a chance to look at it, appears to be about 60 or 70 feet in diameter. You are noticing the body of the water nymph that is slowly sinking beneath the surface of this pond. Those of you who are in the pond currently, the pond here is probably about 4 to 4.5 feet deep, and you can still see the glow of the Feygate underneath the water here. There's this whitish bluish glow that is appearing near the center of the pool. You take a look at the landscape around you, and the vegetation here is fairly lush. There is these kind of knee-high grasses all the way around this pond. What you're going to notice about them is they have this like dark forest green tinge with a little bit of like bluish purple notes to them. You see these large trees seemingly surrounding this entire pond. They're not quite like any trees that you've seen before. They kind of look like oak, but a little bit thicker, and the leaves here are diamond shaped on these trees. So you also see these like tall reeds that are sticking out of the pond here, and around the backside of the perimeter of the pond. So that's where you find yourselves. What do you want to do?
Unless people want to camp here, I say we take a
short rest, then go somewhere else to take a good long rest.
I agree. I do think we should get away from the pond, that's for sure.
Oh, also we should search her body, the nymph.
Yeah, can I search the body?
Yes, give me an investigation check.
And an athletics check, because the water's going to be over her head.
Oh, that's true.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can find
14?
any tracks.
Okay, let's do the investigation check first. That was a 14. So you, like, not really swim, but like, bouncing yourself off the bottom of this pond. You're able to make it over to the body of this nymph as it's starting to sink. And you're kind of using it as like a flotation device. As you grab a hold of her leg, her body is fairly slender and has this bluish purplish tone to it. She appears to be wearing sort of like this lilies and kind of like this pond reed material that's been woven that's covering her bits. You're going to notice, slashes and puncture wounds here, and this darkish blue blood is beginning to fill up the pool here as she bleeds out. You start searching around her body, and you're not really seeing anything that would be like a pocket or a pouch or anything like that. So you don't know if she doesn't carry anything on her or she just doesn't have anything.
Maybe she has a little hoard at the bottom of the pool.
I'm gonna bounce my way back to the side of the things and relay that information of hey, I couldn't find anything. I don't know if she just doesn't have pockets or if it's because I was trying to keep my head above water, but I couldn't find anything.
Alright, I'm going to take advantage of my ring of breathing and just do a nice thorough search of the nymph and the pool. See if she has a little nook, a cranny, a living room there in the water. I'll avoid going through the Feygate.
Give me an investigation check. With disadvantage because it's dark here.
Elf.
Oh, do you have low light vision?
Yep.
Okay, give me a straight investigation check.
That'd be either way, it's a 3.
Yeah, you're finding much the same. So you search their body and you're like, well, she doesn't have anything on her. And are you searching the pond as well or just the body?
First the body, then the pond.
Okay, give me another investigation check.
10.
So you are going to spend maybe like 15 minutes as the rest of the party's up here on the bank resting, poking around this pond, and it's kind of dark down here, and you're not finding anything.
The words of the wise sage ain't find shit.
All right, so back to Vic. Vic, you said you were searching for tracks.
Yeah, if I can see any footprints, I guess, anywhere around the pond, like somebody being here or, before us.
Okay, you can give me either a survival check or an investigation check.
Okay. 16.
Okay, so as Talia and Alunodas go into the pond and search around, you decide that you're going to use your time to see if anybody's been here recently. So you make it up onto land and you're looking around this area over here, and you were seeing some fresh, like wet footprints that you think were mostly caused by you guys when you got out of the pond. But as you explore further over here away from this area where you came in, you are going to see some tracks. You think anywhere from maybe 3 to 5 humanoids, maybe about 5 to 6 feet tall, judging by the size of their footprints, had been here maybe within the past couple of days. And as you search out further, you're going to notice to the east that you're going to find those footprints and older tracks that appear to have been through here maybe weeks ago, but there's many more of them, and you're also seeing some tracks that appear to be heading towards the pond.
Which direction is that? Like
To the east.
East, not like east north. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and approach Juliet, and I'm gonna tell her, it seems like we have company to the east. Probably not fresh, but it might be good to keep an eye.
That's good to know. It'll give us a direction to head to. I imagine these creatures must know something about where things are, so the east seems like as good a place as I need to go once we're finished resting here. But good eye.
So are we going to rest here? We're going to...
Everyone seems to want to rest here, so I guess we're doing that.
Okay, so the area surrounding this pond, over here to the west, there's a tree line that's fairly close, but in this area out here to the east, Vic would have known this after, following these tracks for some distance, maybe 50 yards or so. There is an open area, probably about 100 feet to the tree line, to your east and to your north. And you're also going to find a path that is cut into the tree lines and some of the brush here, that's probably about 15 feet wide. But some of it looks like it's grown up a bit. It's still manageable that you could get the cart through. But if you are going to camp around this pond, would probably be the place to do it. As far as you know, there may be something along this path, but until you explore it.
All right. Alunodas starts cooking dinner.
All right, so you set up camp here, and after about maybe an hour that you're here, you're putting together your tents and gathering some of the dried twigs and stuff that had fallen off the trees here for your campfire. Everybody give me a wisdom check.
14.
19.
16.
All right, so everybody except for Alexander and Talia, you're setting up camp here, and when you got up and out of the pond, you're like, oh, well, it's almost dark, we should probably be doing something soon because we're running out of light. But after the hour you're here busy making your camp, there's kind of like this thing in the back of your head. It's like, there's something kind of off, and you don't put it together until you finish setting up camp and settle down and notice that the sun hasn't gone down.
It seems like time moves weirdly here.
Well, we're in the Feywild. Things are bound to be different.
Alunodas, give me a history check.
9.
You seem to remember something growing up as an elf around some other elves, of tales that you've heard about the Feywild and time being a little wonky, but you don't remember any specifics about it.
Yep. So I sort of just shrug and indicate, things are weird. I don't know. It's weird. If you see a little blue box, then just stick around and we can ask that guy.
Huh?
The doctor. Doctor Who, little blue box.
I got it.
Right.
All right, so I guess you're making camp for the night, and is there anything that you want to do before taking your long rest?
No, I'm good.
Train Abbott to notice and point out temporal anomalies.
Is that something I can do?
Dogs can sense earthquakes. Why not temporal anomalies?
Oh, by the way, Hannah, have you put together a sheet for Abbott yet?
I saw the one that you gave me. I don't know what to do with it.
Okay, we'll work on that later.
Okay. But I saw that I have one. That's what's important, I suppose. No, I would like to train Abbott heal.
Okay. Give me a animal handling check.
10.
He thinks that you're trying to get him to stay, but he's kind of like confused because you're not saying stay.
Outstanding.
And he's kind of distracted by the strange noises that he's hearing here, that he's not used to. It sounds like there's a lot of insects in the woods here. They sound kind of like large cicadas, and the sound's pretty much everywhere. It's not deafening, but you would think if somebody tried to sneak up on you, it probably wouldn't be too hard because of all the racket that these insects are making.
Awesome. Well, that'll be it for me for the evening, I suppose.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and pray to Lolth for a bit. Try and keep watch, keep alert if I see something out of the ordinary, I guess.
Okay. What do you say to Lolth?
Lolth,
I'm gonna actually
Daddy,
try and pray for guidance in the Feywild.
Okay.
Specifically, I want to pray perhaps for a vision.
Okay. Give me a religion check.
Okay. 19.
Okay. So you settle down and you take your great sword and put it across your lap as you're sitting here on the ground, and you start praying to Lolth under your breath. And after a while, you're probably doing this for a good 20 minutes, and nothing seems to come. And then towards the end, you're going to feel kind of this cold chill run over you, and then you're going to feel your senses be heightened, and the sounds of the insects here kind of get louder and then become somewhat more muted, and the sounds around the camp here are going to get louder, where before you really didn't notice things. You hear the fire pop, you hear Alunodas scraping a spoon against the bottom of this boiling pot of vegetables he's cooking over the fire. You're hearing Juliet write in a book, and you can hear the quill scratch on the parchment she's writing on. She seems to be copying something, and you can hear the sounds of Nyfron sharpening his rapier. And you're going to get advantage on perception checks for the next day.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day for me.
Juliet, do you want to do anything? Do you want to copy spells?
Well, since we're leveling up, Juliet is going to finish her studies of 2 particular spells that she's been working on for a while, and with some scribbling that she's already doing, just kind of have a eureka moment, and make sure those spells are scribed in her book now.
Okay. And what did you take?
I took Counterspell and Thunderstep.
Nice. All right.
Does Counterspell work?
I see a spell, I can take a reaction, counter it instantly. There are.
Is it like
limits.
an opposed check, or
if it's the
third
same
level or lower, there's nothing that it just. That's it. Yeah, Kevin's right. If it's the same level or lower, it's gone. That's it. Otherwise, I have to make a check.
which is DC 10 plus the spell's level. So if somebody casts like a 9th level spell at you, you would have to get a 19 or better on your check.
Gotcha. And do you add like a modifier to that? Like a...
Yeah, I add my intelligence modifier.
But not your,
Nothing else.
The thing
no.
that goes up with level.
DC 10 plus spell level. So if I want to counter a 9th level spell, I have a +3, I'd need to roll a 16 or more. Hopefully we won't run into any level 9 spells, so...
Not yet.
Well, so long as we stay away from the companions.
I don't think they're 9th level spellcasters, but, okay.
You don't know that.
You don't know that. They are what you call legendary characters.
Yeah, I'm just guessing because they don't own like kingdoms or fiefdoms, so I mean it's possible that they're level 18 and up, but it just seems unlikely to me.
Wait, at level 18 I can own a fiefdom?
At level 18 you can battle like you can throw Tiamat over your back and just haul her away. Like at that point, if you don't own a fiefdom or something, you're either a monk who has no need for such pitiful items and physical objects, or you've done something terribly, terribly wrong, like defend your farm for 3,000 years.
If Talia lives long enough to make it to level 18, she's gonna figure out how to steal a fiefdom.
I mean, hell, by the time you're level 15, you're basically a walking economy.
We're already a walking economy.
Yeah, I'm kind of already a walking economy.
All right.
I just built a temple on a whim.
Yeah. All right, so you settle down here for the night, and you eat your dinner, and you're noticing the sun still has not set here. So you settle down for the night. Are you keeping watches?
Yes.
Always.
I'll take first watch.
I'll take the longest watch.
Sounds like a John Grisham
sure
book.
like here. More like Tom Clancy, but yeah.
Yeah, Tom Clancy. Alunodas, you're taking first. Who's taking second?
Juliet will
I
take
guess
second.
it'll be me.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Juliet, you're taking third.
Yeah, I'll take third.
So that's probably enough to cover all the watches, unless you want to throw another watch in so people can get more sleep.
I'll take a watch.
Okay. So,
Don't we not even need these? If it's an 8-hour rest, and we have 2 elves who only need to sleep with 4 hours each.
Meditate, but yeah.
all right.
I don't care what you call your laziness.
All right, so who was taking first watch again?
Luna.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Up, beat me to
10.
All right. So halfway through your first watch, you are going to hear a section of these cicadas to your northeast kind of go quiet for maybe a minute, and then they get louder again.
I am going to say nothing, but pay special attention to the northeast. I'm not going to go anywhere. Not going to wake anyone up. Just going to keep watch. More.
All right.
Still.
So you make it through your watch, and nothing happens. And Talia, or I guess Vic's the next one up.
I'll let her know that there was something to the northeast. Don't know what. I didn't investigate.
Alright.
And I sit down to meditate.
The rest of the watches are uneventful, and everybody gets their sleep in, but the sun still has not set here.
Is there a sun, or is it just the appearance of a lightness?
It's actually like a sodium fluorescent street lamp. Like in the distance, you're in the Truman Show.
Is this
currently.
a lower class Narnia that we're in? Is that what we're looking at?
All right, so everybody is awake at this point, and I guess you're preparing breakfast, getting your horses ready. Is there anything what do you want to do now?
We have a dog here, right?
Yep.
An adorable, very highly trained dog. It can do anything
Very
you
highly
want.
trained. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Alunodas and ask him, why don't we cook the dog?
1, that's meat, and meat is murder. 2, that's Abbott. God. You
Abbott?
want meat, you're gonna have to go catch it and cook it yourself, and not Abbott. God, you're awful. It's Abbott.
It's walking meat.
He's
It's
cute
disgusting.
and he's friendly, and he'll be useful, probably, eventually.
He's a burden on us. Suit so yourself, but if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat him, okay?
Talia would probably kill you if you did that, and
For a
we
dog.
might help. Yes.
I'll
Did I mention
buy
he's
her a
adorable?
steak later.
No, you're not making any friends with that attitude.
Does she have any special attachment to the literal dog meat?
Probably.
Intriguing. Thank you.
Sounds like somebody needs to get Vic some meat.
Now that we are fully rested, are we using our level 6 stats or level 7 stats? What are we doing there, Kevin?
Level 7.
Okay.
Cue the Zelda quest music.
Link didn't
Just curious. Did Nyfron sleep in the pond, or
He was doing unholy things to the nymph's corpse.
oh?
No, I mean, he slept on the ground with everybody else.
Just curious.
He did pull the corpse of the nymph out of the water and put it on the bank, though, and studied it for a bit, but just it looked like it was more out of curiosity than anything else.
Can I try searching it again now that it's on land?
Sure.
It's probably nothing, but you never know. 14.
So you do another search, and much the same as before, it doesn't look like the nymph has anything on her except for this garment that she's wearing that's kind of like a one-piece bathing suit, but it's made out of reeds and vegetation from this pond.
Cool. I'm gonna cut off her head.
That really escalated.
All right.
Talia's starting a collection.
I guess give me a survival check.
Have you been
I mean,
keeping
she
track
doesn't
of these in
need
your
any more.
inventory? How many heads you have?
4. I don't successfully cut off her head. I have not. I'll have to go back through and listen to the episodes and see exactly which heads I have and install them in my inventory.
You cut the head off, but it's a real sloppy, hacky job that's not very clean. But yeah, you can add 1 nymph head to your inventory.
Sweet.
Do I see her do this?
She's not hiding it.
She's proud of it.
I'm gonna go ahead and approach Talia and be like,
You gonna eat that?
come on, man. I'm gonna go ahead and approach Talia and tell her, if you need help cutting heads, you can go ahead and use my sword for that. It's really good for cutting heads.
Talia's gonna perk up and smile and say, "Oh, thank you. I'll let you know next time. I'm starting a collection."
Oh, I used to have a collection of skulls when I was younger, you know? Oh, the heretics.
Bonding over decapitation.
She's a charming young lass.
Maybe you should can trade some like Martha Stewart tips about boiling skulls. Add 1 cup of salt to a cauldron of boiling water, along with 2 cups of vinegar, to render the flesh and fat and clean the bones. It's a good thing.
I mean, I personally like to marinate mine, and then eat the eyes and let the rest decompose, and then I have a clean skull.
How does Talia feel about that? Is she like interested or horrified?
Mildly horrified, but she's gonna say, I mean, if you want the meat off this one, it's all yours. I just like the skulls.
Oh, then maybe we should have Alunodas cook something for us tonight.
He gets real upset when you put heads in his pots for cooking. She's just gonna frown.
Isn't it just fish, technically? I mean...
Yeah, but he doesn't like any meat cooked in his cooking pots or something. I don't know. Uncle Luno is a little strange, but, you know, you do what you can.
I love that she's standing there holding a dripping skull, talking about eating the meat off of it, calling me strange.
He has weird eating habits.
Well...
Elves.
At this rate, you're never going to get your pudding.
So, where are we heading?
We should follow the footsteps, I guess.
Yeah,
well, we could ask our thingy.
Alright, to the east it is.
Yeah, let's ask the not magic 8-ball.
Magic 8-ball?
Yeah,
No, it's not a magic 8-ball.
We have an oracle that can answer
8-ball?
one question per day.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought it was something ridiculous. But no, it's a talking orb. Okay.
So, how do we want to ask this oracle? Because there's no sun, so we can't really do east and west here. Even though Kevin said something about the northeast earlier.
I didn't say that there's no east, north, west, or south. I said you haven't done a check on that to see what you know about this. You just asked the question, and I said, well, you don't really know at this point. Would you like to give me a history check?
Yeah, let's try and figure that out. 11 for me.
Is most that you would know about the cardinal directions of the Feywild, you would know, yeah, and Shane got a 6. You would know that the Feywild is basically like a mirror of the prime material, that a lot of it works in the same ways as the material plane, but it's kind of a mirror of it. So whereas there may be landmarks in the material, there may be a mirror of that landmark somewhere in the Fey that may not be exactly the same as that landmark in the Prime. But you would think if that's the case, then the cardinal directions would be much the same here in the Feywild. But it's harder to tell just because the fact that you don't have the sun to rely on as a marker for east and west that you know of, because you haven't seen the sunrise or set yet. You kind of just see this glow on the horizon, and it may be setting or it may be rising.
Which direction is the wind blowing?
Which direction is the wind blowing?
Yep.
It would currently be, as your token is facing right now, it would be blowing in your face.
So it's coming from the east, I assume.
Maybe, but you don't really know if it's the east or the west here.
Can I use Divine Sense? See if I can feel something evil? Or good?
Sure. Now, what you would know is the sun, as you would think it would be, the glow, is coming from this direction over here, which would be the right of the map. So the wind would be coming from this direction.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. It honestly feels to me like it's like a huge crystallite or something coming from the east, like a settlement.
Sure.
Well, I wouldn't really know about how the Feywild works, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Alunodas choose on this one. He's an elf.
So really the direction that you have to work from is the direction from where the light is coming on the horizon, which, for let's say all intents and purposes, would be the east. as far as the map's concerned.
All right. So, if you give me a pipe and a little bit of metal and a string, then I can construct a rudimentary astrolabe.
Okay, MacGyver.
Roll
Didn't
for
know we were
astroglyph.
All right. I have no real idea. Let's just go ahead and assume that the sunlight is east for now.
Okay.
But let's work out a way to... maybe there's a way we can ask our little oracle for directions that won't rely on a frame of reference that we don't necessarily know, like north, south, east, west.
Well, we know a frame of reference is forward and backwards and the way I am facing, so why don't we just use that?
Good call. So,
And you're currently facing to the west, correct, Juliet? As far as this map's concerned?
Yes.
We could face towards where the trail goes, and then ask the totem thing if we walk forward facing the tracks, if we would find the boots of what's her name.
or we could draw a sort of compass thing on the ground, put the oracle in there, and ask it what direction to go.
I like this plan better.
Maybe we could program a series of nested commands in BASIC. Put that into the oracle.
I get those only simple questions, but
That's why it's
think
BASIC.
Are we sure this orb is not manipulated by someone?
Hasn't steered us wrong so far.
that is a good question, though. I mean, we don't know anything about this.
I mean,
Let's ask the
that's what a
oracle.
good villain would do. That's the oracle.
As the Oracle, are you full of shit?
Try again later.
Who authorized you as an oracle? Do you have like proof?
He went to Oracle
Where's your
Correspondence School.
Ah, you beat me to the joke.
DeVry School of Oracular somethings.
DeVry School of Divination. All right, what are you doing?
People are saying they want to use the Oracle. You guys have to go and use the Oracle if you want to use the Oracle.
Okay. I'm going to draw a little rosette on the ground, north, south, east, and west relative to the map. And put the oracle in the middle and say, relative to these directions, which way are the boots of Sylvanas? What's her name?
Damn it, you're going to make me look it up.
Oh my god. Sylvanas?
Sylvanas Windrunner.
Wow.
Boots of Feydale.
That's...
The boots
Elysian
of
Silverbow.
Elysian Silverbow.
Those boots.
All right, so you place it on the ground, and you make these cardinal directions like north, south, east, west, northwest, northeast, blah, blah, blah. Even though that you don't know if those are the directions or not. So what is the question you're asking the Oracle?
Relative to the markings around you, in which direction are the boots of Feydale?
So the purplish grayish clouds appear over the surface of this black orb, again, that's being held aloft by this silver elven woman, and the words northeast appear.
So it looks like the boots are that way, or possibly the exact opposite direction. I shouldn't gesture for a podcast, especially not when it makes me take my finger off my button.
Or it could mean our certain doom because someone is manipulating an object.
Somebody's got trust issues.
Of course they
She's a
do.
Drow Paladin of Lolth. What do you expect?
She wasn't held enough by the priestess cult when she was a child.
Was
Or she
born
was
among
held too much by the
cutthroats.
giant spider in charge of the cult.
So are we gonna go around what this orb said?
Unless you have a better idea.
Oh well.
If it makes you feel better,
I'll make
then
it
the
up.
first time we encounter someone, we can torture them and ask them for information.
That does make me feel better. Maybe I could teach Talia how to cut a head better.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
That would be fun.
I know, right?
Alright, so you pack up the oracle and grab your horses, and the northeast direction that the words in the oracle told you to go kind of align with the tracks that Vic saw earlier leading along this path. So are you headed that direction?
Yes.
I guess so.
Okay, so you follow these tracks down this path. About 100 yards, you're going to enter the tree line here, but there is this opening in the tree line where this crude path's been cut through that's about 15 feet wide, but you're able to get your horses and the cart through without any issue. And you are going to travel for probably about an hour here. You've noticed that it's the same kinds of trees here, but you're going to notice these vines hanging from them that are purplish in color. You're also going to see some brightly colored purple flowers along the ground here. Everybody give me a perception check.
9. My +6 in perception has not
14.
been working out.
Aw,
for me
2.
today.
Sweaty.
9.
Alexander, as you are traveling down this path, and you're basically just walking the horses at this point through here, you're going to notice some movement out of the corner of your eye. And you are going to concentrate on the spot where you saw that movement, and you're going to notice it again. And it appears that some of the vines here are moving.
Hey guys, are moving vines a normal thing in the Feywild? Can I roll a history check to see if I would know that?
Yeah.
8.
You've heard some stories about some weird stuff in the Feywild, about the plants here, but nothing specific to these vines. They don't appear to be moving that much. I mean, maybe like an inch. And if there was wind here, you would think that maybe the wind was picking it up and blowing it. But they're just, like, some of them are slowly, like, swaying back and forth, but maybe only an inch or two. And it appears that it's only on, like, this certain kind of vine that you're seeing that are coming from these trees. They're kind of almost like a burgundy in color with these orange veins running through them.
Hey, Alunodas, does this spark anything in your eyes? Your special elf eyes?
Racist?
What do you see with your elf eyes?
Your special elf eyes.
Oh. If I have any insight from a nature check.
Alunodas, you had heard some stories about plants here in the Feywild, and you've heard that some of them are carnivorous, and although you don't remember anything specifically about like these vines, that you've heard that there are some plants that will tangle up like small animals and birds and eat them.
Some plants are thoroughly evil and eat meat.
I feel like they're evil for other reasons, but that's good enough for me. I am not going towards those plants.
Are they like hanging over the path or anything? Are we going to have to make special efforts to avoid them, Kevin?
It seems like they're mostly in the tree lines. You're not seeing anything currently in the path, but you think it'd probably be a good idea to keep an eye out for them.
So yeah, let's just be careful with the vines.
Are you continuing on?
Yes, let us carry on, my wayward sons.
Alright, so after about another 10 or 15 minutes, you are going to reach this opening in the path here that opens up into this area that's probably about 50 feet roughly in diameter. And here you are going to see a stone marker that's up against the back of this tree line here in front of you, and it appears that the path has forked. There is a path that kind of leads to the east kind of southeast, and then there's another path that hangs to the north. As you get closer to it, you are going to see that there's some writing on this stone marker that's back up against this tree line between the two paths.
Do I recognize language?
What languages do you speak?
Elvish, Undercommon, Common.
You kind of notice some sorts of markings on this that kind of look similar to Elven, but you don't think that this is like the Elven that you commonly know.
Oh, so it's even an inferior version of Elven. Okay.
I would like to use my level 1 spell, Comprehend Language.
Okay. So you cast the spell, and you see these letters in your mind, and you make an association with what they mean. And the marker that's kind of pointing to the southeast here says Astrazalian, the city of starlight. And then the other marker that appears to the left, you're not really getting a read on it, as it seems to be really weathered, but you're making out some of the letters here, and all you get from it is gap.
GAP,
so
like the store?
Yeah.
So it seems there's a city of starlight that way, and then I will metaphorically point in the way of the of where the big thing says.
But since you're not literally pointing, we don't know which way you're talking about.
Yeah, but I don't have real fingers in the game.
It would be to the path to the southeast.
And then this one's too weathered to really make out. It just says gap.
And which way did the not city way go?
Towards the northeast.
Okay. So, do we want to go in the mysterious direction toward the gap and continue going toward the boots? Or do we go toward the city, where there's probably people we can talk to, ask questions about stuff?
Probably the way that says gap, so we don't run into any unwanted people, such as people that have heard of our escapades on the other side of the Feywilds.
As much as I'd like a decent bed, I think it might be smarter to avoid elves. I mean, it's always smart to avoid elves, but, you know, tactically.
Authoritarian, hierarchical jerks they are.
Exactly.
So, Juliet, Talia, northeast?
Yes, northeast. Let's go.
Sure.
Go.
All right.
Who's shopping for you, Juliet? Sorry.
As you're making this decision and moving towards that, everybody give me a perception check. And you can make this Vic with advantage.
Finally, 21.
14.
12.
10.
10.
Why do you get advantage, Hannah?
Because
6.
I have a dope goddess.
Yeah, no, but... Okay, so why does Talia?
I don't. I get a 6. I looked at the dice, not the thing.
All right, so Alunodas and Alexander, you would see that the...
No, it's not Alexander.
Oh, he got a 10, never mind. So it'd be...
Okay, I see how it is.
Yeah.
Alunodas.
You suck, you're human.
You would notice that the trail of tracks that you've been noticing as you walk along this path appear to be going towards this northeast direction towards the gap as well.
So these tracks we've been following, they go northeast too. So if those are elves going to the boots, then maybe that is what we're looking at?
All right, so you're continuing on? All right, so you're going to travel for about another 30 minutes or so, and the path here seems to have narrowed a bit. It's probably about 10 feet wide. You're still able to get the carts through here, but you are kind of feeling these trees and brushes like pressing in against you. You've seen some more of those same vines that now that you know what to look for, they kind of stick out and you see them sway from time to time. So after about this 30 minutes or so, everybody give me another perception check.
16.
Hey, 20.
4.
17.
All right, everybody who got over a 15, which it looks like...
So everyone.
Yeah, everybody. You are going to notice like this flash of movement to the right of this trail. And then you're going to hear like some like leaves rustle.
Should I go check what that is?
Might be a good idea. Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and carefully approach and see if I find something hostile.
Okay, are you are you on your ward?
Yes.
Okay, are you dismounting?
No. I'll go with the work.
Okay,
I'll actually have him smell and hear if you see something too on the way.
Okay, so the trees here are kind of dense, and you get probably about 10 feet in, and it starts getting hard to move through these trees on top of this warg because of the branches, how like low hanging they are. And on top of this warg, you're going to have to like bend down to avoid them, and you're moving pretty slowly through here. And you're making a lot of noise. Give me another... Go ahead.
I'm gonna get off my work and tell it that when I give you the signal, you go ahead and run back to the party. And then I'm gonna go ahead, get off the work, and see if I can use Divine Sense to see if I feel something, and approach carefully forward.
Okay, what can you sense with your divine sense?
That's what she's asking you.
Oh,
no,
she...
yeah. Celestial, Fiend, or Undead.
Celestial, Fiend, or Undead?
Yes.
So, you cast the spell, and you...
It's a feature.
Yeah, okay. So you reach out to try to feel if there's anything in the area around you, and you don't sense anything that's celestial, fiend, or undead.
Okay. I'm gonna push forward with my work slowly.
Okay. So you make it about another 10 feet in or so, where you thought you saw this flash and of movement. Give me another perception check with advantage.
14.
Okay, so you scan through the trees here, and it's pretty thick, and the light's pretty low, but with your drow vision, you're able to pick out a lot of details here. And as you scan through, you're basically just seeing trees. But there's this one tree that's probably about maybe 4 feet in diameter, that something seems strange about it, but you can't really tell what. And it's kind of where you thought you saw the movement.
I'm gonna go ahead and stab my sword gently into that tree, but slowly.
You're stabbing something gently? Okay, give
like
me...
poking it with the tip.
Okay, are you attacking it or just like probing it?
No, just poking it with the tip of the sword.
Okay, so you get closer to it, and you take the tip of the sword, and you like kind of poke it, and then you see this movement, and like this like giggle, like and then you see that movement again, and you see this tall like creature that appears to be made out of like vines and branches and bark take off running from the tree. And I think that's probably a pretty good place to end the episode right there. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. If I could ask a halfling-sized favor, give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's the best way to support us. New episodes come out every Monday, so make sure to check your podcast app. If you have an idea to make the podcast better, tell us about it on Twitter or Facebook. You can also check out our website to see all the maps, lore, and characters at dungeonsanddebacklespodcast.com. And now a word from our fantasy sponsor. Howdy, folks. I'm Gerg of Gerg's Barbecue and Crematorium, and I'd like to take a minute to address some of the slander about my business. We have some of the finest slow-cooked barbecue in the Plains Nation, and yes, we offer all hours crematorium services, but never the twain shall meet. Rest assured that your delicious combo platter of pulled pork and mutton never touched the remains of someone's loved one. Death comes for us all, and at all hours, and we answer the call. But that doesn't mean you could be eating a person. You have my word, we keep it separate. So if you have a hunger in your belly or sadness in your soul for the loss of a loved one, we can help. Gerg's Barbecue and Crematorium. We're always open. The music you heard on this episode was The Forest and the Trees, Rites, Metaphysics, Lost Time, and Serpentine Trek by Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.